Having established our new home base at the Key Largo Campground and Marina, we took a day trip to Key West. It's fun to walk the streets, try some local food, check out the shops, and see the monument of the southernmost point in the continental United States. The Little White House tour was really enlightening. I had heard of other presidential retreats like Camp David and Key Biscayne, but was not familiar with Harry Truman's Key West presidential retreat. Our guide, Dewey, told us about many historic deals that were worked out here, like the forming of NATO, the Marshall Plan, and the desegregation of the U.S. military.
So my name's Dewey. You'll always remember my name because of that famous Truman picture. You'll see it upstairs, actually. That newspaper cost 10 cents that day in 1948. Now it sells for $10,000 on the internet. So this house, the old commander's house, this was a Navy base. The Navy opened up this as a base in 1822. This was always called the Gibraltar of the Caribbean by the U.S. Navy. When we think of Key West, we think of Jimmy Buffett. We think of the bars, the drinking, the great restaurants. We think of the water sports. But you got to think of behind Key West was the U.S. Navy. They came down in 1822 to get rid of those 2,000 pirates that were robbing every ship that went by. Key West became the richest town, not only just in Florida, but in America by the time of the Civil War. What is the one object that you've noticed already in the houses you don't see in your houses these days? Ashtrays, exactly. Here at this table, he created, as I just mentioned, he created the United Nations he had just created, but coming down here to Key West created NATO. Here at this table, they created the Marshall Plan, the most radical plan ever in the history of American warfare. He said, we're gonna have World War III, boys, unless we do something different. And so they rebuilt both of those countries, obviously not how they were, but into a modern capitalist democracy. Historians have said because of the Marshall Plan, that two of the strongest capitalist democracies of the 20th century after America was modern day Japan and modern day Germany. So that was right down here in Key West. This was the Oval Office by day, and by night it was a big entertainment center. By day, in that desk over there, he signed over 600 documents a day at that desk. So that was his official desk. There was a mail plane that came in at 6 o'clock every morning from Washington with the day's documents and mail and letters. His whole philosophy was the buck stops here. Made the hard decisions. Right here in this room, he fired the most popular man in America at the time, Douglas MacArthur. And I had to do what I had to do as leader of our country. And he said, boys, he's talking to the 20 members of the press that had been with him for so long down here. He said, come back in 60 or 70 years, which by the way, would be right now for you guys. And he said, see if NATO is still around. See if the United Nations worked out. See if the Marshall Plan was successful. See if we kept from World War III, if we kept from atomic bomb. And so the historians, I'll just close my tour with this, the top historians of American presidencies, ones that just study American presidents their entire career, professors, 60 of the top ones got together recently. They looked at all 46 presidents, and they asked themselves just one question. And the question is, who was the most consequential, the most important president in our history? And so their list, you want to hear the top few? Number 1, Abraham Lincoln. Number 2, George Washington. Number 3, Franklin Roosevelt. Number 4, the other Roosevelt, Teddy Roosevelt, who spent a lot of time here, as Franklin Roosevelt did. And number 5, he called himself the son of a dirt farmer from Missouri, Harry S. Truman. Thanks for supporting the Little White House and supporting me as your tour guide.
I'll put links to the other videos in this series in the description of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give it a like if you did, and consider subscribing to the channel. Until next time, thanks for watching.